You open up Chrome, type in a URL, hit enter, and you think you're seeing the internet, right? Well, what you're actually experiencing is just the absolute surface. It's a tiny, brightly lit beacon at the very top of a gargantuan digital iceberg. Today, in this explainer, we are mapping the true architecture of the web. We're going to upgrade the old myths and begin a massive descent into actual cybersecurity science.
So what actually hides beneath those glossy, familiar storefronts like Google, Amazon, and YouTube? The internet we all know and love is bright, it's interactive, and it's full of motion. But you have to realize, everything up here is built strictly to be seen. It's carefully masking a vast, shadowy infrastructure operating just beneath the surface.
You've probably heard the number 10% thrown around when people talk about the surface web, but the reality, it's even more shocking. Every single visible page crawled by standard search engines actually represents less than 5% of what exists online. That means over 95% of the internet is completely invisible to you right now, locked behind credentials, codes, or deep shadows of...
It's literally a tale of two internets. On one side, we've got the visible storefront of the surface web, running on standard HTTP protocols. It's safe, it's indexed, it's highly commercialized. But across the divide is this hidden reality. It's a massive, unseen ecosystem that values secrecy, permissions, and survival way more than searchability. All right, let's start our descent. We're leaving the bright lights of Level 1 and dropping into Level 2, the Bergie web.
Level 2 is widely known as the Bergie web. Think of this as the internet's gray zone. It's full of unindexed, but technically public sites. Basically, you've just stepped into a digital side alley. You won't find these places via a simple Google search. You need an exact URL or a specific link passed around in a forum just to get your foot in the door.
This space is home to proxy sites, piracy hubs, and underground communities that are just surviving one takedown at a time. It's a true digital gray market. But the crucial trait here, you can still access it using your standard browser. This frontier feels risky and unfiltered, sure, but it's driven by obscure access, not absolute anonymity. It hides in plain sight using unlinked directories and unindexed FTP servers. It's not totally cut off from the surface, you just need to know exactly where to look.
Moving deeper, we hit Level 3, the Deep Web Engine.
Okay, we absolutely need to clear up the biggest misconception on the internet right now. The deep web is not illegal. In fact, it is the engine of the world. It holds a staggering 90% of all data. We're talking medical records, bank accounts, university archives, corporate databases, and yes, your private emails. It's protected by everyday passwords and paywalls, not crazy encryption protocols. Literally, if a site asks you to log in, boom, you are in the deep web. This layer is the fundamental backbone of modern civilization. Without it, global finance and healthcare would just instantly collapse.
But now, the lights go out. Welcome to Level 4, entering the dark web.
This is where the internet stops pretending to be safe. The rules of the surface? They no longer apply down here. You can't just open Chrome to get in. This is a totally hidden network, where absolute privacy attracts absolute chaos. To even survive here, you need specialized software, like the Tor browser, and the science behind it is fascinating. It's called onion routing. Basically, your data is wrapped in thick layers of encryption, and then bounced between random proxy servers all across the globe. With every single bounce, a layer is peeled away. Your IP entirely vanishes, and you become a digital ghost. Imagine putting a letter inside a safe, locking that inside another safe, and then locking that inside a third safe, each needing a different key from a different person in a different country. By the time that final safe opens at its destination, nobody has a clue where the data originally came from. That is the insane cryptographic power of the Tor network.
Because of that absolute, untraceable anonymity, we get a really stark dual reality. On one side, you have the rebellion. This network is a totally crucial tool for whistleblowers, journalists, and activists who need to bypass oppressive government censorship. But on the exact same network, you have the paranoia, hosting illegal black marketplaces, trading in stolen data, ransomware gangs, and devastating cybercrime. It's half rebellion, half paranoia.
Let's keep dropping. Down to Level 5, the Mariana's web myth. So, does a deeper layer actually exist? For years, hacker forums have whispered about this forbidden digital trench, a zone unreachable by Tor, demanding bizarre cryptographic puzzles or literal quantum computers just to enter. The wild rumors claim this level holds things like alien research or biological computing, but the reality?
Spoiler alert, that version of Mariana's web is a total myth. It's just a reflection of our own psychological fear of invisible surveillance. However, a true, unreachable web does exist. In cybersecurity, we call these closed-shell or air-gap networks. Think of systems like the U.S. military's CyberNet. These are physically disconnected from the global internet to prevent remote cyber attacks. You don't need quantum encryption to get in, you need top-secret clearance and a physical wire. By severing the connection to the outside world entirely, they create a true digital fortress. Plunging further, we hit level 6, the mediator layer.
Old internet lore frames this layer as a border made of decisions, like some autonomous AI gatekeeper evaluating your soul before granting access. But let's upgrade that myth to the actual hardware. Level 6 is the infrastructure layer. We are officially moving from software to physical reality. We're talking about the Border Gateway Protocol, DNS root servers, and those massive underwater fiber optic cables connecting continents. This is the physical routing architecture that dictates how the entire internet functions. BGP acts like the postal service of the web, mathematically finding the most efficient physical path for your data to travel. Without these deep physical intersections quietly running in the background, the entire digital world just goes dark.
And finally, we've reached the absolute bottom. Level 7, the fog of decay.
Old urban legends describe this bottom floor as virus soup, an endless chaotic graveyard of abandoned code and mutating malware. But the real fog is actually peer-to-peer mesh networks. In decentralized spaces like I2P or Freenet, order collapses, but not into static. There are no central servers to decay. The users themselves route the data directly to each other. To an outsider, it looks like a chaotic fog, but it's actually an autonomous, serverless web that is virtually impossible for any government to shut down. Every computer acts as both a client and a router. If one node goes offline, the network simply heals itself and routes right around it. It's the ultimate evolution of digital resilience.
The internet doesn't end, it evolves. When you strip away the creepy myths, the true science of the web is honestly even more fascinating. From the polished commercial storefronts of the surface, down through the protected deep web engines, into the encrypted darknets, and finally resting on physical fiber optic backbones and decentralized mesh networks, the internet is a living, mutating ecosystem. Now you know how deep the internet really goes. For more explainer deep dives into computer risks and cybersecurity, subscribe to Techi Tech.